All right, once you have your mesh prepped, your next step is going to be to bring everything into Stride. You obviously want to get your textures, however you choose to do that. You'll want a diffuse map, a emissive, a normal map, and like a PBR map. This is metallic, gloss, and occlusion. I believe it's actually going to be roughness, and then you'll also want your FBX rather. And you just simply drag them all into whatever project you're working out of in Stride here. For the FBX, you want to import it as a 3D model and make sure import skeleton is checked. If you set up the material in your 3D package itself, you can use these two, the import materials, the import textures. That'll bring everything in for you automatically. I kind of like to do it manually just to make sure everything's set up correctly, and it kind of reminds me to fine tune the emissive, as you can adjust the intensity in the material settings and Stride. Uh, I actually decided to do the escort here. As you see, the engines are a little messed up, and I picked that up while I was prepping. Um, but as far as that goes, bringing these color maps all together, you want to separate the normal map because the import process is slightly different. But you just click and drag all the color maps in there and go to color, and that'll import that. As far as the PBR maps go, red is going to be your metallic channel. Green is going to be your gloss or roughness, and then blue is going to be your ambient occlusion. You just put all those grayscale maps into one map to get another color map, and that's all good. When you bring in the normal map, you just want to select the normal option down here. I obviously didn't bring any of those in because they're already existing in here. But what you'll be left with is a mesh, a white mesh with two unassigned materials. Now I have it split up just for ease for me, since the engines and the weapons all use common materials. I just have those all set to components, and to assign materials in Zenko, assuming you have them all set up here, because if you do an entire race or whatever, it's good to have just common parts to save you some time. You just click and drag the material from in here to its appropriate slot in the mesh, and that'll kind of assign everything for you. The easiest way to make a new material is just to copy an old one, especially if you're doing an entire race, as it's generally going to have the same look to it. But I already have a material for the escort here. As we could see, the normal map's in here, the gloss map, which is again technically roughness, it's inverted, is in here. You'll want to make sure, and this should automatically be set up, but the green channel is selected for gloss. Now, technically, you could change these if you so wish, but just to keep things consistent, I'd suggest kind of just leaving it how we have it. But there's the diffuse map, the metalness map here. Just make sure that's an R there for the the red channel. All this other stuff is optional for depending on what you want the look to go. The emissive map here, if you expand this, you can change the intensity. At 1, it's pretty dull. Like pushing it higher gets you kind of those bloom effects around the lights that we like. And then set the occlusion here and make sure that's set to the blue channel. But like I said, if you just copy the material that's already existing and then just put in the new maps, all this stuff will kind of be set up for you already, so you don't really even have to worry about it. But once you have that material set up, or even beforehand, you do the same thing. You get the mesh you're working on, and you just click and drag over the material node into its appropriate slot. Now for this, I'm going to show you something a little different, since this is broken basically. We have special kind of working folders that works a little bit different than probably what you guys are going to be having. But I'm going to go ahead and just quickly here get to my the content for the Motalin and update this, and you'll see here once I save this mesh over, that engine is going to, oops, that engine is going to fix itself. So see here, this is just our working directory. You don't have to save things in here. I mean, for just convenience sake, I'd suggest so. But if you just go like this, um, you'll get a button right here to re-import the meshes. And you just click that, and it'll update everything for you and see that engine move down. So once you have this all set up, what you want to do is hit save and hit this button here, the build the project, and you'll get a little building icon down there letting you know that it's going. And we'll just kind of wait on that. And once it's finished, you'll want to navigate to this directory. Obviously, the content and everything's going to be different depending on the package, but it's this kind of long directory train, and you'll want to grab these two files, the new bundle file here that's just a random string based on, I'm guessing, the current time and stuff like that, and the bundle. You're going to want to copy those and put them into the data file of whatever you're working on here. So if we go to the current beta build I have, that is probably a little bit older than what y'all have right now, and just paste those into here, you want to replace the existing file, which is just this Mortaland bundle file, and you're basically done with this step.